Orange County. We've been a Trigreen customer back since before it was Trigreen, all the way back to it was Tractor Supply. I started doing business there when I first started farming. So we've had a long association with the same group of folks who own and operate Trigreen and are still employed by Trigreen. You've asked me to do a little discussion about service and the service we get on our farm from Trigreen. We farm in about 6 counties on the western side of Alabama, all the way from north of Florence, almost to the Tennessee line, down about 125 miles south, all the way down to southern Alabama, and east and west about 40 miles that way. So we have a need for a lot of service in a lot of different areas. We've been allowed to have technicians come from the Leeton store, from Athens store, from Corrient store, and wherever they can have been able to get a technician to us on an as-needed basis. It's worked great for us. We've had them come to the field on Sunday morning and Saturdays, work all weekend to keep our machinery running. We run about 10, 12 tractors, a couple of combines, cotton pickers, sprayers, 3 or 4 planters, drills, and what have you. So we have a good bit of need for a lot of service, and we have definitely gotten exceptional service from the Trigreen folks. But I want to talk to you about a personal thing that happened on this farm in April of 2011. We had a really severe F5 tornado came within about an eighth of a mile of our farm headquarters. Wiped out all of our buildings. We had a couple of brand new combines that had just been delivered a few weeks before, had never even been in the field. Had all of our planting equipment hooked up, and tractors ready to plant. We had planted our corn. Basically, we're about halfway through planting season. And the day after the tornado, we had damage everywhere. We suffered well over $1 million worth of damage here. And there wasn't hardly a piece of equipment on this farm that was ready to operate. We had everything from windows knocked out to parts of buildings had gone through the cabs of tractors and hit planters and tore up the CCS units on some 24-row planters, and the combines, actually the force of the wind had taken the unload augers and spun them around and tore those up and slapped them into the cab. So you can't imagine what that kind of storm can do to a farming operation with all of your machinery sitting basically in one place. Within 24 hours of the storm hitting here, less than 24 hours, as a matter of fact, we had a whole yard full of Trigreen employees and neighbors helping us, and we dug out what we could and started moving things to the store at Leeton. And they prioritized and put us, I know, ahead of a lot of their other customers, and I really appreciate that. But they were able to get our machinery. By the time the ground dried up, we had planters ready to run. We had tractors and planters back in the field ready to run, because like I say, we were less than half through planting when the storm hit. The first month following the storm, our shop bill was in excess of $200,000, and then they got into fixing some other stuff later. So we know the value of good service. We know the value of a relationship with a group of folks that have our best interests at heart. We know the value of being able to maintain that relationship. And I certainly do appreciate everything that we've been able to get from Trigreen. We had another situation on this farm this past year. We were real short-handed. My son's been really sick, and the folks at the store really stepped up and really came through to our rescue a number of times when they knew we were really in a tough spot. And they'd send technicians on the weekends. They'd send technicians almost at the end of the day and stay till the end of the night to get stuff back going. We had an instance with a combine final drive on a new 690 combine go down, and I think it was on a Friday afternoon, and I left for Atlanta while they were still at the field deciding what to take off and what to get. And or maybe it was a Saturday morning. I guess it was a Saturday morning is what it was, because I drove to Atlanta and they were running a skeleton crew on Saturday morning in the parts depot there, and picked up a wheel, final drive, some other associated parts, and got back that night. And while I was on my way there, the parts department at the Leeton store was in contact with the technicians in the field who were dismantling, and they were steady ordering what they needed ordered for it would be laying on the will call dock when I arrived there. I picked all that stuff up and turned around and came back home. And the next morning, the technicians were there on Sunday morning and reinstalled all those parts and got us back ready to harvest corn again. And you know, it's those kind of extra steps that make us continue to trade with Trigreen, make us be a loyal Trigreen customer. We could go to a lot of different dealerships. We could go to some red folks. They're really trying to move into our area. We farm in enough different areas that we actually get into other dealerships' trade areas. So I think we could trade in with those dealers. But we continue to be loyal to Trigreen because of the sales force, the parts department, and the service department. And those things are what makes our farm be successful. And without the help of those components, there'd be a big hole in our business. It'd be a really, really big place that we'd have a really hard time in maintaining timeliness of operations and maintaining machinery to keep it operating when we need it to operate. But I just want to say a special thank you to the entire service department, all the way from top to bottom, the parts department and the sales force. We've had a good, long relationship, and I know it will continue that way in the future. Thank you.